Yo folks, and welcome. In today's video, we'll be talking about the latest gacha games, mobile titles, and games coming to August and more. Let's jump right into this. First things being is Tower of Fantasy releasing on August 10th. Preloads available August 9th. It's also going to be available on Steam and Epic. Let's go ahead and look at some of the gameplay for this one. As we know, or if you didn't know, this is going to be an action RPG, a competitor to Genshin Impact in some ways. But honestly, Genshin Impact is more famous for its fandom, so if Tower of Fantasy can build the same fandom, then it's going to be popular. Hopefully, Tower of Fantasy will also come to the Switches, Xboxes, and PS4s, PS5s, but it coming to PCs, mostly on Steam, is going to be huge because it's going to be a different platform that Genshin hasn't entered yet because Genshin is only on the Epic Store. Really hyped for this one. I can't wait to play it. Next up, we have Clover Theater. This is going to be releasing in JP August 3rd. This is just going to be a simple RPG if you haven't seen it already. It's going to be a monster daughter themed one. So I have no idea what that means. It looks kind of cute and wholesome. So we'll see how it goes if we can get our hooks into it. Next up, we have Full Metal Alchemist coming on August 4th in JP. Now, some of you might be a little bit grumpy that it's going to be only exclusive to JP, but hopefully they won't region lock it because this has to be one of the king games of 2022, just like Tower of Fantasy. Why is that? Just look at the graphics, the UI, everything about this screams quality. And this is an homage to, I believe, the 25th anniversary of Full Metal Alchemist. Everything just looks so beautiful, and the quality of this game cannot be more emphasized in my opinion, because there's not a lot of tactical RPGs that plays proper story homage while also giving the character fidelity this much detail. So really hyped. Hopefully we can play it and try it out and give our opinions. Coming August 4th. Next up, we have Chemo Knight. This is going to be releasing August 8th in JP. The only thing you need to know, it's going to be a puzzle RPG of sorts, and there's going to be some furries. And if you like that stuff, it's going to be cool to play if you can. Next up, we have Project Winter that's going to be releasing at the end of August. If you don't know about this title, it's going to be an Among Us style game where you're going to be, I guess, lumberjacks and hunters going to take each other out in order to survive through the winter. Pretty cool title releasing later on. Then we have the news with the CBTs. First up, we have Nikke, Goddess of Victory. Eligibility emails coming August 1st. So if you don't have the email yet, maybe you do. I am not sure. Look at the gameplay. It's going to be waifu oriented, brought to you by the same devs who gave us Destiny Child. I hope to play this one. When I was playing it on the Anime Expo floor, it was a lot of fun. And they said they're going to be adding more feedback and different UI options and optimizations to make this game even better. So hopefully the closed beta can bring those details, and also I get to see the wonderful jiggle physics of this game. Next up, we have Harry Potter Magic Awakened that you can play right now on your PC's closed betas. Now, if you don't know what Harry Potter Magic Awakened is, this is going to be a card collector with some action RPG elements to it. It's gonna have a top-down view. I recommend viewing FG3000's impressions of the game because it really encapsulates what it feels like to play something a little bit different. And there's not a lot of innovation in the mobile gaming space, and I feel like this is one of the ones to do it. It did really well in China, so I'm definitely patiently waiting for this one to release sometime soon. Then we have Phantom Blade Executioners opening its CBTs as of today, recording of this video. What's really nice is going to be an action RPG as well. It looks absolutely gorgeous with its own 2D action RPG elements, and there's not a lot of games that can capture this style, especially on the mobile front. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know FG covered it as well. If you're a little bit doubtful, just look at the game. You know, there's not a lot of stuff that comes out like this on the mobile fronts as of recent. Next up, we have the tuning test with the Zenless Zone Zero occurring August 5th. I would say this is one of the hypest games coming from Hoyoverse, and some are saying this is going to have roguelike elements to it. I am really hyped just to try it out and play it, mostly because the characters and designs, the soundtrack is so pristine and clean. I just want something that will, make me see some waifus and some husbandos in their greatest fashions and glory coming to you hopefully soon, but you get to play some folks in August. Next up, we have some more releases that we can talk about coming in the future. First one's being is Memento Mori. This is going to be launching at September 2022. Now, the only thing you need to note is it's an idle RPG. Look at Luna Lin, what an amazing looking waifu. But if you're looking for some in-depth gameplay and some crazy mechanics, I don't think you're going to find it with Memento Mori. I want to tone down expectations with this one, slow it down a little bit, because this is more about the visuals and the music that you have. Right here is the gameplay. There's going to be some characters that nod their head in certain ways, and that's it. The UI is fairly simplistic, reminds me of Sinnoh Alice. It's not an overly complicated game, but what's really nice is the waifus that you can collect, and I guess the story that's going to be experienced in this one. Next up, we have Neural Cloud, Girls Frontline specifically. This is going to be out on pre-registers right now. Here's a look at the websites, and it's looking very clean and kind of snappy. Really fresh information with this one. And here's a look at some of the gameplay. The thing that I want to annotate the most is this is going to be in an auto chess style. So you're not going to be moving stuff. This is more of like a pre-planned battle. You could say it's Princess Connect, but it's auto chess style. Auto chess style is its own right, and there's going to be a lot of different things that you can control. This is already out in CN, but for it to finally get a global release and to have pre-registers, hopefully it releases sometime soon, because the game is already out and in a playable state in other countries. Next up, we have games already out. First up is going to be Alice Fiction right here. I think everyone knows this title. If you don't, this is brought to you by the same devs who brought us Crash Fever. It's a match 22 style game. What does that mean? You match colors and you deal attacks. There's gonna be waifus, husbandos. The soundtrack on this is really awesome, and I recommend it if you like more of a colorful style game. If you're prone to colors being too much for you, maybe don't try it out. But gameplay's not for everyone. I personally love it, and it's one of my favorites for 2022. Next up, we have Noah's Heart. I believe this is also brought to you by Perfect World. If not, correct me down in the comments. The most important thing is Noah's Heart is a next-gen MMORPG releasing on the mobile front. I would say this is one of the better action MMORPGs to release, and it's not going to be amazing like Tower of Fantasy, but it's going to be a good competitor, or at least something a little bit different that people can experience. The biggest parts that I'm excited for this one, it feels next gen. It doesn't feel like a copy paste MMORPG. At least it hasn't been copy and pasted and brutalized in that way yet. So I would try Noah's Heart in case you want something with different graphics and gameplay that actually feels right. If that makes any sense to you, then feel free to try it. If not, I just want to say Noah's Heart is a decent title. Next up, we have Octopath Traveler Contest of Champions. Now, if you played the Switch version, apparently this carries on the story directly after it, which is really cool because I was a fan of the Octopath series. The only thing is, this is going to be controlling 8 characters, and the gameplay is more similar to something like Another Eden. So if you don't know what that means, it's a classic turn-based RPG. I was told that you can complete all of the story with the characters that you get at the start of the game, the 4 stars and the 5 stars. So it's going to be sort of free to play friendly on the story fronts. Event wise, Another Eden was very difficult, so that'll be on different fronts. Overall, I think this is a game that you can try out right now in case you're looking for a turn-based RPG. Next up, we have some upcoming pre-registers, betas, and games already out thanks to TapTap Presents 2022. There's going to be 24 titles in this one, and here's a look at some of the titles we're about to talk about. Honestly, an exciting moment for gacha gaming and mobile gaming in general. First up, we have Genshin Impact right here. We all know this as the current king of gacha games, mostly thanks to its amazing marketing and fandom. There's always something on Twitter with this one. I generally sense play it if you like it. And Wuthering Waves. This is probably one of my favorite titles coming to 2022. New gameplay footage, and you can pre-register on TapTap for more information. Just note, this video is not sponsored by TapTap in any form. I just love the way they presented the information here. Go Muffin. This is going to be an RPG of sorts with the vertical top-down view. Reminds me of MapleStory 2. Looks absolutely adorable and wholesome. I can't wait. Pre-registers. Then we have Etheria Restart. This is going to be a turn-based RPG, and it looks like something with the anime style, Zelda Breath of the Wild, that low shell shading type of game. And it's going to be a turn-based RPG that I'm super excited for. And then we have Project Stars right here. Now, this is going to be a space-themed sandbox. And what's really nice, it's also like No Man's Sky in some ways. I'm not sure how this is going to work on your mobile devices, but the game looks gorgeous and I'm excited for it. Then we have Yeager Hunter Legend. This is going to be a Monster Hunter style or hunting style themed game. It's going to be in outer space, and it looks like the monsters are kind of baddies in this one. Get ready for a challenge because it's going to be interesting how these play out. Then we also have Ragnorok M. This is just going to be an update. This game is already out. If you're familiar with the Ragnorok series, I think this version of Ragnorok pays the best homage to it. There's gonna be some new characters and stuff. Nothing too crazy. If you like the Ragnorok series, I'm sure you're gonna be liking what you're seeing right now. Then we have some, I would say, Smash-like games or more PvP style games, more action-oriented than the games that we just saw previously. And then first up, we have T3 Arena. This is like a Overwatch-esque style game, you know, a team-based game. We're gonna only have 3 characters. A little bit more fast-paced because we're on mobile, and not to mention format is just going to be a little bit faster. Flash Party right here. This is more of your Smash-esque style games. You know, if you like that sort of stuff, I like it. I think the characters are kind of cute. This one's already out, and there's going to be a new event. Then we have Captain Tsubasa. Now, this is going to be an older anime. If you haven't seen it before, it's soccer themed, as you can see. There's going to be some legendary football players that you can play in this one. And if you like any form of soccer, then I recommend to try it out. I think this one's on pre-registers, and yeah, it'll be something to look forward to. Naraka BladePoint Mobile. Now, Naraka BladePoint is a top seller on Steam. Probably one of the greatest games, and you're gonna get more exclusive news on the Tap pre-registers. I really can't wait for that on mobile. We have Bar 2, something like that. Reminds me of like a Clash style game graphically, but it's gonna have a top-down action RPG sense. It looks kind of cool if you like that sort of thing. Then we have Tabs, totally accurate battle simulator. If you haven't played this on Steam, now it's going to be available on mobile devices. Kind of quirky in its own ways, and it has some insane battles you can play in. I'm not sure how it translates on the mobile scenes, but this has to be one of the coolest games that you can ever experience. And then we have some thrill-seeking games or some roguelike action titles. This is going to be a fun one because first one we have going to be Torchlight Infinite, biggest competitor to Diablo Immortal. Now, I think this is going to be a better title if monetization isn't as bad as Diablo Immortal, because we already know Diablo Immortal is kind of fun. Torchlight Infinite is just going to be a better version of that. You can see there's crazy enemies, effects, and all sorts of things with the damages and the numbers. To be a loot to collect in, this looks really fun. And it's to be on October. Unhappy Raccoon, this is going to be a roguelike shooter title if I remember correctly. Obviously, we're gonna have some furries in here, and what's really nice is there's gonna be a great variety of things that you can do, and I think roguelikes just sort of belong on the mobile fronts for quick, easy plays. Then we have Neon Abyss Infinite. This is gonna be the mobile version. I actually played this on Steam before. It's probably one of the funnest roguelikes you can get your hands on, so for it to come to mobile, it's definitely going to be a treat. And then we have Anno Mutation M. Now, this is already out on Steam, probably one of the most beautiful pixelized graphic games. And what's nice is it's female theme. We have Koa right here as well. I believe this is going to be an action RPG with anime themes very prevalent. It's going to be another competitor to Punishing Gray Raven and those titles. It looks really beautiful. I'm excited to play this one. I'm not sure why you wouldn't be excited. And then we have some experienced developers coming on board with strategy RPGs or tactical RPGs. First up, we have Sword of Canvalaria. There's like a famous music producer with this title, Hitoshi Sakimoto, and I think this game looks absolutely gorgeous. It's my style, it's my flow. I love tactical RPGs. I played Final Fantasy Tactics Advance on my Game Boys, and this just looks nostalgic. Evolution Eternal, this one reminds me of Raid Shadow Legends in some ways, except with this more spacey theme to it. I'm not really hyped for it because Raid Shadow Legends is kind of a scar on the mobile themes, but at the same time, the game looks beautiful, so I'll be more skeptical. Annoulous, this is going to be a different title as well. I believe it's going to be a turn-based RPG, and it's strategy RPG of some sorts. It has medieval themes and fantasy stuff, so if you like the way it looks graphically, it looks absolutely beautiful. And then we have some wholesome, relaxing sim-type games. Honestly, this is just some chill games. Koi Remake, you're gonna be a fish, you're gonna be going around and swimming, interacting with your fish buddies. That's really cute. Heartopia, this is more of your sim-style Animal Crossing, so if you wanted something like this on your mobile devices, it's gonna be a cute little title to play. And of course, pre-registers. Then you have Spark Creative Editor. This is going to be a game dev kit on your mobile devices. I have no idea how you can do that on a mobile device, but it looks really cool. And I know there's a lot of people who don't have powerful PCs, but have phones. So this is gonna be a cool way to make your own game. And I'm curious how people, have it. These are going to be the 24 games that you can pre-register or download on TapTap. No, this part isn't sponsored, but this has to be one of the most exciting news coming to 2022. And finally, let's go ahead and talk about upcoming games on my watch list. First up, we have Honkai Star Rail. They're just releasing some teaser information with Herta. If you don't know who she is a puppet waifu. And then we also have Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. This news is dated back in May, but just note, it still says releasing September 2022. And this was brought to you by Cyber Agent. Nothing too crazy with this one. The only things that I know is that this game is beautiful. It's going to be flashbacking or bringing us moments in the Final Fantasy VII series. It's sort of like the Final Fantasy VII Remake on PC, except it's going to be on mobile and the graphics are going to be toned down. Gameplay wise, it's going to be really cool like this. I think it's more of a turn-based RPG. If anything, I just want this game to actually release in September, and I'm super hyped to play it once it does come out, or any news comes out, so let me know down in the comments. Next up, we have Heaven's Birds Red. This is going to be listed on Steam. No news of localization, but I'm super excited for this to be, getting any sort of information to it. It's a pretty cool title in the JPs. And finally, I will leave you with the Black Clover Vengeance news. If you don't know who this is, his name is Vengeance from Black Clover. He is one of the coolest captains. He has the Yeager tree magic. And if you don't know what that means, it's just forest magic and it looks really cool. I hope they have some more animations with this dude because animations for this game look proper clean. And yes, it does. The tree growing, doing all sorts of things, doing tree things and forest things. One Piece fans, if you know what I mean, the latest chapter. Okay, Black Clover right there, looking really cool. Anyways, that is going to be the news for the month of August. It's a really exciting one if you don't know why. There's so many closed betas. Tower of Fantasy is finally releasing. I'm just hyped. Full Metal Alchemist, Zenless Zone Zero, Nikke, Goddess of Victory, Alice Fiction, and Octopath is out. Phantom Blade, Wuthering Waves, Girls Front Line news. There's all sorts of stuff. So I'm really hyped for, the things coming to the mobile front. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram if you want to see my face. Once we hit 35,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. I'll be at the Crunchyroll Expo 2022 at the Bay Area. Hopefully this video releases by the time it's happening. I just really love going to cons as of late. I'm going to be working as a volunteer for Crunchyroll. I am not sponsored in any way or work for them exclusively. I just wanted to volunteer and get more con stuff going and flowing because that's the best way to meet anime fans. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know if there's anything I missed down in the comments or you want something to be covered a little bit more often. I'm always open ears. Thanks so much. Have yourself a fantastic day and see you guys in the next one.